All right, so just going over the points that I heard the other thing saying. First of all, they talked about expansion. You can expand electric cars. No, you can't because of lithium and zinc, because they are mined, and most of the mines are in unstable countries. Therefore, it's more dangerous to mine and more expensive for the companies to be able to get the materials for their batteries. At the same time, you can only produce batteries as fast as you can mine, and you can't mine that fast. As a result, you need batteries for your notebooks, you need batteries for your flashlights, you need batteries everywhere. So those companies are not going to really allow other companies to be able to produce electric cars and take away all their batteries. That's one point. Second point, electric cars are more expensive than biodiesel cars. And at the same time, you know that you can always make a small readjustment to your engine, if any needed, in the first place, to be able to use a biodiesel car. So that means you don't need to train any type of mechanics, you don't need any type of new equipment to be able to use it for your cars. You don't need anything new. You can just use the existing technology and just convert it slowly and slowly. And that's also your transition. While as for electric cars, you're moving from electric to hybrid, which uses some battery and it has some fuel. And then from that, you're going to fully electric, which in the winter, by the way, you're not going to be able to get out of the snow. At the same time, they said that there is, you can place windmills everywhere as long as there is space. Well, no, you can't. For example, in Sudan, you can't put a windmill as long as there's not the technology there to be able to use that windmill. And that's probably the reason why those countries are poor. While as farming, you don't need that much technology for it. You can just put a whole bunch of people and make them farm. Countries. That's the way to do it. You don't need people with higher education to do their work. At the same time, because electric cars are more expensive, and later on, if you do say that they come into the market, which they won't really, once they do, then there's going to be more electricity in demand, and countries are going to have to implement new ways of charging people, so that if you want to charge your car overnight, you don't go to the local market, take the Coca-Cola machine out and plug your car in and steal electricity. It's going to cause a lot of problems that need to be resolved, while as biodiesel cars, they won't produce those problems. At the same time, you can make the fuel for your biodiesel machine at home. You don't really need to... Yeah, it's true. It's true. If you have a little background in chemistry, you can make the biodiesel at home. While as electricity, not so much. You're not going to be saving the money in the long run. All right.
Also, a very mistaken point that they made was that right now biodiesel is composed of 90% hydrocarbons, which is totally not true, because biodiesel can range from 0% to 100 to 90% hydrocarbons. But the thing is, right now we can do a transition from 90 to 0. We can do it. But as for electric cars, we cannot.
Okay. The last point. When there is winter, your battery has lesser space than if it's a hot weather, basically. So if you have a fully electric car, you're going to walk up to your car and it's going to be dead. You're not going to be able to turn it on. And even if you boost it, because it doesn't have fuel, it's not going to be able to run itself for long. So you have to keep charging it for long hours in the winter. So it's a huge disadvantage in countries like Canada. That's it.
Thank you.
That's it.
Much of what you've been told over the past 4 minutes is at best
irrelevant, and at worst, patently untrue. For example, my opposition here said that, oh, you can't go through a snowbank in winter in an electric car. This is obviously untrue. Electric cars are huge in Canada. And with increases in technology, advances in technology, this will further be able to be implemented electric cars. And one thing that they pointed out was that Sudan has plenty of land. Yes, Sudan has plenty of land, but for crops you also need water. And Sudan is a desert. They don't have enough water to drink there. I don't think planting hundreds of hectares of corn to turn into fuel is necessarily a very good idea. Now, another big thing that the opposition brought up was how green is the grid, to summarize it. Well, actually in Canada, 77% of the electricity we produce is from renewable sources. The vast majority of that is hydro, but there is also nuclear, solar, wind, and tidal. And according to a study by a UC Berkeley professor, Pat Patzik, the production of biofuels takes 6 joules of energy to produce just 1. The production of biofuels uses 20 cubic meters of methane per hectare and 150 liters of other fossil fuels to produce only 4 cubic meters of ethanol. And the production has a total energy cost of 29 gigajoules per hectare. Now, of course, let's not forget that we are living in a world where there are almost 1 billion people starving. So turning food into fuel just doesn't sound like a very good idea. Particularly that since 2007, when former President George W. Bush initiated a program to make farmers produce corn and soy for biofuels, the World Bank has noted a 75% increase in the price of food. And Oxfam has estimated that the amount of grain that we currently turn into fuel, would feed 330 million people. Now, I've been ripping on biofuels a lot here, but let's step back and just assume that biofuels are here to stay. Are cars really the best use of these biofuels? The internal combustion engine has an efficiency of around 25%, whereas an electric engine has an efficiency of about 65%. And according to the report by the National Petroleum Council, gas-powered plants have an efficiency of about 60%. So if you put 100 kilowatt hours of fuel into a car, they'll get about 25 kilowatt hours back. Whereas if you burn it in a fuel plant destined for an electric car, you will get 40 kilowatt hours back. Now remember, this debate is not about whether we should produce biofuels or we should not produce biofuels. The purpose of this debate is about whether biofuels are best for cars, particularly when compared against electric. And we all agree that we need to get off oil. But are biofuels really the way forward? Electric cars are the only possibility that can ever be truly green. And as technology advances, our grid will get better. So I know that you will agree with me when electric cars are the future of transportation. Thank you.